Ukraine strikes back, military successes and Russia's attacks on civilians. This is what we'll talk about today. Incredible footage from the Ukraine war. Ukrainian drones strike deep inside Russia as ports and oil refineries burn. In Moscow, mobile anti-drone fire groups on pickup trucks are patrolling the city center. Russia struck the Kyiv region energy infrastructure with missiles and drones, causing power outages and killing civilians. Moscow has already spent a week without mobile internet, and the Kremlin is considering wider shutdowns. Ukrainian forces report destroying huge numbers of Shahid drones. While Russia is helping Iran kill American soldiers in Donald Trump's illegal war with Iran, Russian envoy Kirill Dmitriev reportedly met with associates of US President Donald Trump, like Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, to discuss Russian energy cooperation. All of this and more in this video. Hello everyone, I am Elena, welcome to my channel Enough of Propaganda. Ukrainian boy is standing inside his destroyed house with the only family he has left, his cat. This is the warhead of Russian 101 missile, flew directly into the bedroom of a house in Vasilkiv in Kyiv region during a massive Russian attack on March 14th. A 19-year-old girl was asleep there at the moment. Thankfully, the warhead didn't detonate. The girl's mom was also in the house. She's okay as well. This is a Russian terror on Ukraine every single day. This is Konstantinovka, before and after Russian attacks, before Russian liberation came to Konstantinovka. This is how it looks now, and this is how it used to look before. You can watch the video and see for yourself. Erasing city of Konstantinovka from the map. This is Ukrainian city getting bombed by Russia. Russia is failing miserably capture Konstantinovka and many other places, so Russia, despite the casualties, enormous casualties, cannot achieve anything on the front. So no point even to show the maps. Today, on March 15th, Russia killed paramedics Dmitro Kolesnik and Oleg Zhuravlev when they were transporting the wounded. Their colleagues are badly injured. They were saving people until the very end. Again on March 15th, Russia is whacking Zaporizhia region. Casualties and destroyed buildings, civilian buildings, houses. Another Russian Shahid drone strike on a passenger train, this time near Sumy. If this happened anywhere else in the world, it would be breaking news. So why isn't it? Except for the bloggers like Jake Bro, I don't see much reporting on this stuff. Everybody too busy with the war in Iran. Boo-hoo, few drones fell near the hotel in somewhere Dubai or something like that. Nobody got wounded or injured. That's a big news. When Ukrainians get killed every day for no reason whatsoever in Putin's war, aggressive war, no problem. An important reminder by Chuck Farrer about chemical warfare. Despite explicit prohibition by Geneva Convention, Russia continues to use chemical weapons against Ukrainian military and civilian targets. And I had lots of confirmation of that, even from British intelligence and so on. So Russia is continue using it, and no problem, apparently. Trump is thinking of keep doing business with them. A Russian strike drone was neutralized by electronic warfare and made it crashed into the water. Ukraine is continue striking Russian military objects in Crimea with absolute exact accuracy. The chief designer of the Flamingo missile. There is no need to hit all of Russia. Moscow needs to be hit weakly. This is Denis Shtillerman, the Firepoint defense designer. He's confident that regular strikes on Moscow military and oil infrastructure will impress Russian elite. Well, I agree with him. Russian flag has no place in Ukraine. Putin will be defeated. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment and share my videos. Let's make truth available for everyone. This is Bryansk. Ukraine attacked with drones and storm shadows plant Kremlin L. Smoke They hit something, the woman is saying. This is again Bryansk, and Russian side is saying that 6 people died, 37 injured. But these are military targets, valid military targets. This is again attack on Bryansk military plant. These people who worked on this plant, they were contributing and supporting Putin's war and directly contributing to the murder of innocent Ukrainians, of Ukrainian people. In this video, one of the workers of this plant, as Nevzorov, famous Russian journalist, shown, basically carrying on his half-blown arm. When he didn't worried about what they produce, killing Ukrainian people, killing civilians, killing children. Well, now he is in that position when his arm half blown off. Another interesting comment by Nevzorov about that attack on the Bryansk plant. This is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Russia made a statement about this. So Nevzorov is kind of laughing and saying, it is hard to imagine Chikatilo, serial killer, showing up at the police station and in a rage filing a complaint against a woman who scratched his organ he was trying to rape her with, the very one which he wanted to rape her. This is roughly what the Russian Foreign Ministry memo about. Attack on the Bryansk plant with the designs for the very missiles with which Russia daily bombs residential areas and hospitals in Ukraine were made, reads like. The Foreign Ministry doesn't even understand how absurd and ridiculous this is. In these recent days, this is the attack on Tikharetskaya station again, which is a major hub, not just the oil storage. Railroad hub is connect lots of several parts of Russia, and I personally have been there by the train, drove through on a train several times. A couple of news from March 12th. One is good, one is not good. The good one is that Ukrainian drones successfully attacked Hanska airport in Maykop and the Uralchem chemical plant in Kirovo-Chepetsk. And the bad news, this is the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Due to the energy crisis, the United States allowed Russia to sell oil that had already left Russia. And not just to India. Sanctions have been lifted until April 12th. The Russians are happy because it means extra $150 million per day for the war in Ukraine. That's a good one. In the first 12 days of Iran war, it's an extra $1.3–1.9 billion. Ching! Putin envoy Kirill Dmitriev meets with Witkoff and Kushner to discuss Russian energy. So, while Russia is helping Iran to kill American soldiers, behind the back of American people, Trump's administration are making deals with Russia. They lifted sanctions. That's Russians are happy about. And Witkoff, Putin's puppet, met with Kirill Dmitriev again. Kirill Dmitriev, who also serves as CEO of Russia Direct Investment Fund, flew to the United States after the Trump administration lifted some sanctions on Russian oil earlier this week as a measure to ease pressure on global energy prices. Also, they claim. So far, nothing like that. It's not even about this. But I just don't want to talk about it in this video. Trump and Putin are very happy together. March 13th. The Afipsky oil refinery in the Krasnodar region and the port of Kavkaz, as well as chemical plant in Tolyatti, Samara region, were successfully attacked by Ukraine. On March 14th, Ukraine blew up ammunition depot and occupied Dovzhansk. This is a Ukrainian MiG-29 fighter using American guided gliding bombs. GBU-62 destroyed the base of Russian UAV operators near Rodninsky. The Russian Ministry of Defense has developed a bill allowing for the use of the Russian army outside the country's borders to protect Russian citizens. It provides for the possibility of extraterritorial use of the armed forces by presidential decision. For example, if a Russian citizen is arrested or prosecuted by a decision of foreign courts or international bodies whose jurisdiction Moscow does not recognize. Technically, the new bill allows the bombing of Hague or Nuremberg tribunals, as well as the deployment of divisions to the countries or cities where Russian war criminals are being tried. Russian idiots are still driving together in one truck. And here's Ukrainian FPV drone saying hello. News from the Russian Orthodox Church. Archpriest Tkachov, this man, quickly became Russia's #1 obscurantist, eclipsing Patriarch Gundyaev, aka Patriarch Kirill, and other Russian Orthodox Church windbags. People flocked from all over Russia to hear his sermons. The Orthodox learned that medicine is a heresy and a lie, for all illnesses are caused solely by sin. Tkachov also didn't hide the true methods of healing from them. According to the archpriest, all illnesses are caused by sin, not by diet, lifestyle, or genetics. He called those who don't see the connection between sin and illness insane. Therefore, for the average client of the Russian Orthodox Church, a concussion is an excellent cure, so they have to bump their heads on the floor, and especially during Lent or a great fast, according to Tkachov, the quality of a Christian is proven by the size of the bump on his forehead. So pray harder, comrades. This is Moscow, March 15th. It was attacks by Ukrainian drones all over Moscow. All airports, Domodedovo, Sheremetyevo, Vnukovo, even Zhukovsky are closed. Kremlin under threat. Mobile fire groups spotted in central Moscow and downtown, right by Kremlin. Pickup trucks with machine guns and soldiers were seen near Kremlin. Such units are typically used to intercept drones. Russia has nothing better? Apparently not. Putin shut down internet in Moscow. So far in Moscow, but planning to shut down the whole Moscow region. These are the districts of Moscow when there are problems and internet doesn't work. It's about 40 out of 132 districts of Moscow. This is a life in the dictatorship. This is Perm City. And Russians are arresting people who is protesting shutting down internet. In this video, Russians are complaining that mobile internet shut off in Moscow for some time now. This means that payments, online maps, delivery services, taxis, and many other things wouldn't work. Russians are buying pagers and paper maps. But this is not the main problem. For example, if people have diabetes, they can't really monitor their children online who are sick and in school, for example, and so on. So yeah, this is basically Russia is coming back to the Middle Ages, and complete shutdown is possible, and so on. So, do you have mobile internet? No. As you know already, Elon Musk basically shut down Starlink for the Russians, and that hurt Russian offensive and Russian front enormously. There is a huge whine from the Z bloggers and so on. This is Deutsche Welle in Russian reports that on top of all of this, Russian military personnel are being ordered to delete Telegram messenger under the threat of being sent to midwave attacks, basically. It's reported everywhere by Russian propaganda Telegram channels, Z Patriots, and so on. And they said, basically, orders have circulated along the front to delete the app from phones. If detected, as usual, join the ranks of the stormtroopers. And this is true. The FSB of Russia has started, it is dangerous for military personnel to use Telegram, stated, as Kyiv allegedly can quickly intercept information from the messenger. So this is total nonsense about Telegram and so on. But the enormous screams from the Z bloggers and people on the front, Russians on the front, because that's their main source of communication. This is where the Z bloggers are. This is where they are collecting money for the Russian army from the volunteers and so on. So Putin is shooting Russia not only in the head, but in both feet and arms at the same time. Besides, they lost Starlink, now they're losing Telegram. And Russian losses are catastrophical. On top of this, Russia is basically afraid of so-called elections in State Duma, and they trying to shut down Telegram completely in Russia. Source told Verstka, it's a Russian decent media, that's a decision by Russian Security Council. And sound like the messenger Telegram will be fully blocked in Russia in early April. The same thing is reported by War Translated channel about Russian meal bloggers complaining the soldiers have been ordered to ditch Telegram for the FSB-controlled messenger Max. And military police is checking their phones and so on. And actually providing documents, like Moscow University also threatening to withhold diplomas from the students who refuse to install the FSB-controlled Macs. No app, no diploma. Via state portal Russian media reports. So this is the translation. I know Russian, but you don't, most of you, since I'm having an English speaking video. So this is what students basically told. You either install basically an FSB officer into your pocket, because that's what Max is reporting to FSB directly and spying on you, or you're not gonna receive your diploma after you graduating from the university. On top of it, Putin is shooting basically Russia in the head by sending Russian students from the universities to the war and forcing Russian teachers basically fail them, or you afraid to fail the student who actually deserves to be failed his classes, because they would be sent to the war. And universities include Moscow State University are lying to students that, oh, they're gonna go to the special forces, drone operators and so on, which is total lie. They will go and be conscripted like regular soldiers and may ended up in the midwave attacks. Good one, killing Russian brains. Russia is shaking from the hellish crime rates, 2020 to 2024, this is statistics. And crime rates among officers who came from special military operation increased from 3,248 to 13,674 cases. And by crime category, murder increased by 1,117%. Drug trafficking by 405%. And serious body harm increased by 389%. And rape by 220%. Another interesting information from Kuwaiti newspaper Al Jarida reports that Khamenei's son, the new supreme leader, Mushtaba Khamenei, has reportedly flown to Moscow for leg surgery after suffering serious injuries during airstrike. And it sounds like the surgery was successful. In one of the Putin's presidential palaces it happened. I don't have a reliable confirmation of that. And a little bit of fun in the end. This is a joke about Zelensky and Trump. Man, well, do you take drones? No. Well, then move along, there is already a line here. You don't have the cards, I have the interceptors. A little motivational video. This is a new defender of Ukraine. Putin will be defeated. Please stand with Ukraine. Canada is supporting Ukraine because we, Canadian people, demands that from our government. Please help Ukraine as much as you can and as fast as you can. Learn the truth and stay informed. Please help Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to Ukrainian heroes. See you later.